Good morning, hikers. It's Father Scott down here in my basement, the rectory here in Dillingham, Alaska. Planning another big adventure. I'm going to take off down to Oregon. I already have my ticket and everything. The end of August. And I'm going to walk the Oregon Coast Trail. And it's come a long way, I guess. I guess you can start up right on the Columbia River there, and you can make your way all the way down to the California border. And it's about the same length as walking the French Way, actually. It's a little bit shorter, maybe 10 miles shorter. I think it's about 370 kilometers, maybe 380. And so it's going to take about 30 days, and I don't have a lot of time this year. I have about a month and a week vacation and retreat is what we get every year. So I'm really excited because I grew up in Oregon and I know the Oregon coast. I've never actually been there to walk the whole thing, but I've been to several little villages along the way there. And I'm pretty excited. One of the things about the Oregon Coast Trail is that there are a lot of places to stop, not as much as the Camino, for example, the Frances, or the Northern Route, or the Madrid route, or the Portugal route, but they have a lot of coffee shops, and that's my main objective when I'm walking long distance, is to get a cup of Java, and I guess there's quite a few. Now, in order to plan this trip, I'm using a couple of different things. First of all, the app, it's called Hiker app, and I'll show you some pictures of it and talk a little bit about what this app shows and does for us. And then I'm also using DYRT, D-Y-R-T, because there's campsites are plentiful along the Oregon coast, not like the Caminos where you're not sure where you can camp or if you can camp, or they're so spread out on the Camino. Here, there's like every 10, 15 miles, there's a campsite or two or three or four. And a lot of them have a little market in there, and they have, you have to pay maybe $20 or $30 or $40, sometimes $70, depending on, where you're going to be. And they have showers, they have the market, they have the nice little sites. And so I'm going to attempt the camping this time. I was thinking about it when I walked for 6 months this last year, but not necessary on the Camino. You don't really need to camp, and it was very cheap. So, but I'm going to save a lot of money. It's a lot more expensive in Oregon to get an albergue. They really don't have albergues in the United States. I mean, there's a few spread out all over the country, but very, very few. So, and then the motels are extremely expensive. You're lucky to get one for $100 cheap. There's a few less than that, but they're spread out. So I went ahead and got my camping gear ready. I've ordered quite a bit of camping supplies. And what I'm going to do is try to stay as lightweight as possible. It's going to be in the 50s and 60s the whole time I'm there in September. And near the end of August, September. And so I didn't have to get really warm equipment. What I decided to do is go with the Durston X-Mid 2-person tent, and it was pretty cheap. It's a little bit heavier than the new ones, but it's about 2.5 pounds with the stakes and everything. But it's got a lot of good reviews. I'm gonna easy to pitch. I don't have it yet. I'm expecting to get it in the mail today, so I'm kind of excited about that as well. And then I'm just going to use one of those foam ground mats, because it's basically just to keep the ground the heat from going down from your body into the ground. And it's not really that comfortable. It's the what's it called? It's the Thermarest Soul, something like that. And it's just those ones that kind of look like an accordion, and they're about 1/2 pound, and a little harder to pack, but I think they're light and easy, and you can actually sit on the thing. I don't have that either. I haven't received that yet, but I'm going to use that. And then I also got one of those quilts that go over you. The Apex, it's a synthetic quilt for 40 degrees. They had 50, 40, 30, and 20. And I tried the 20. I actually got a 20 when I was thinking about camping last year. It was pretty heavy and bulky, not that bad, but I don't think I need that much warmth. I guess those things are really warm. And so I went with the 40 degree, and I think that's gonna be a lot lighter. It's about a pound and a half, right in there. And so I really like the idea of the quilt because I don't like being wrapped up and where you can't move a lot in those mummy bags or whatever. So I'm gonna be using that as well. And also, I'm going to, of course, I have my favorite Hyperlight pack. I mean, this thing doesn't even weigh anything, and it's just wonderful. And have the little water bottle thing on here, which works really well on the strap. I had to kind of hook it up here a little bit with elastic, and works really well. So I'll be loading that up, and I also have something very important because I am going to be camping. So I have this, and it's one of those little plunger jobs where you pour in the coffee, put in the coffee grounds, and then you it's really lightweight, and you can actually boil water in this little pot. And it's got this whole thing here, so perfect for coffee. I think you just pour in the water, you pour in the grounds, you heat it up, and then you put this on there, and then the grounds will stay below this screen here. I've never used one of these, that's why. You guys are probably familiar with it, I don't know. But this is gonna be worth its weight in gold. Just have to grab some coffee grounds before I take off. And then I have the little stove here, and I gotta get some propane. It's just one of these little guys, pretty nice. I've used them before. And I got a little lighter to light it, and all that, stick that in there. And so I'm ready there. And then I have the old camp towel. This is for camping. I mean, it's to take the shower and all that. It's not really that big. It's pretty small, but it's very light. And then I have these, what do they call these? Spoon and fork, spork, whatever. And then this is for like, if you have some freeze-dried food in those long bags, you can use this. So that should come in handy. I don't plan to cook a lot of food. I mean, I plan to have coffee, but I guess there's enough restaurants along there where you can buy food, and I'll have to buy a little bit here and there. But as far as the Camino goes, it'll probably be a little bit more than the Camino. I'll probably have to carry a little bit more food, but not that much more. Just enough to maybe if I get in a campsite with no market or something for one night, I might have to have a package of freeze-dried food or something. But other than that, I'm just going to carry the normal apple, orange, and candy bar and water, and let it go at that. I think there's plenty of restaurants and little shops along the way. And some of the other gear, I still haven't got everything together, but I am going to go back to the Merrells, the Moabs. The last shoes I tried, they wore out. They weren't Vibram soles, and so if you walk on any pavement at all, they wear out. Other shoes wear out really fast, and I had that problem with the last pair of shoes I had. So I'm gonna go back to these and see what happens on that. And I'm gonna take a nice little rain jacket with me. It's not supposed to rain a lot in September on the Oregon coast, but it does rain there a lot. Not during that month, thankfully. And then I have, of course, the things I need to charge up my phone. I'll take technology-wise is my cell phone. I'm on my iPhone, and these cords to charge it. And I'll have a little first aid kit with Compeed and things for blisters. And then I have a little night kit. I haven't really got it together because I'm using it for other stuff, but I usually put a little alarm clock that has a small little light on it so that I can see it when I wake up in the middle of the night, see what time it is. And I usually take a razor and not a lot of other things. A little bit of, I usually take a bottle of Advil. I mean, in 6 months, I had a bottle of Advil last year In 6 months of hiking, I think I might have used 10 the whole 6 months, but I really needed them at the time. I mean, you get a lot of aches and pains from walking long distances, but I still have to get a toothbrush and maybe some clippers and just a couple other minor things that I'm going to need as I'm hiking along. And then I always take this because I like to get up early, and so I'll be having, hope it works. Yeah, I might have to plug it in. It's a rechargeable one, so, oh yeah, we're good. It's a rechargeable one, so I have the little cord to recharge this up. I always get up early, and I like to start early because I love the sunrise, and I love the peace and quiet of the mornings. And it's just a great time to meditate early in the morning, even if it's a little dark. Some people complain that, oh, you're going to miss all the beauty. Why start in the dark? Blah, blah, blah. Well, have you ever tried it? You ever tried starting early? I mean, it's just wonderful. You can take your time getting to the next destination. When you get there, you can roam around and have plenty of time to wash your clothes and set up camp and shop if you need to. And anyway, and then, of course, I have clothespins. I always use these to when I wash my clothes. I have about 5 or 6 of those. Very well. And I have some glasses here, sunglasses. Well, they're actually prescription glasses, but they turn with the sun. So it's really good to have some eye protection with you. And I have this for my cell phone if it starts raining. It's got a little enclosure in here, and you can just kind of hang this on your neck or put it in the side pocket. I have some side pockets I can put it in. And it's worked very well for me. Very cheap, inexpensive. And then for my clothes, I usually take one set. I'll be wearing this. And then I have another set that I'll be having in my pack that's clean and dry. And all I have here are the Darn Tough socks, and I have the underwear for chafing, which is really nice. And then I have some very light Patagonia shorts, and then a Columbia shirt, long-sleeved shirt. And so I've tried t-shirts and all that, but what I don't like about t-shirts is that when after you get to your campsite or your hotel and you're walking around town, there's no place to put your cell phone unless I don't know, I like to keep mine right here. And so these shirts have that, and I don't have to worry about where my cell phone is. I always have it right here, which I really like to do. And I got some of these hiking poles for my tent, my X-Mid tent, Durston tent is put up by these poles. And I actually lost one. I had to give one away when I was down in Guatemala, so I only have one. And you can't really order just one of these, so I had to order 2 more. But I actually lost both of the poles down in Guatemala. I forget, San Marcos. I was down there in San Marcos. Here's a good story for you. And I was sitting there resting, waiting for the coffee shop to open on a park bench. And I left my poles right there by the park bench, and I got up to meet some people that were coming in from San Pedro, and I forgot all about my poles, right? And I'm walking around town and this little village, and all of a sudden, the friend that I was with, Pedro de Pedro, he looks over and he goes, "Those poles are just like yours." And they were my poles. And this guy goes, he had been drinking a little bit, quite a few beers. And we went over there to approach him in Spanish, of course. And he goes, $1 million, $1 million. He'll give them to me. So we talked to him and talked him down. And finally, he goes, 6 cervezas for all of us. And there was 3 people there, his 2 friends and the guy that found the poles. So we bought him each let me see. Yeah, we bought him each 6 cervezas. We forked out the money and they took off. Anyway, I ended up with only 1, but like I said, I need to order some more. Okay, so, and I think that's about it. And then I have some sleeping gear. You know what I found? If it's real light out, sometimes I go to bed early. Actually, these little buffs, they work great for eye guards. You know, you can put them right over your eye. You can strap it on there and put it over your eyes. And I wear this buff a lot, and I use it. But and these things are made in Spain, actually, these buffs. Really nice. And you can put them over your eyes. You know, you can just wrap it like that, put it around your head, over your eyes. And then I have some earplugs if I need that. And this is beautiful. This is one of those multi-use items that are very valuable, and you can use it, put on your head and cover your ears as well, and it's not too hot, and it wicks the moisture away. So really like the buffs. And finally, I'll probably take a little bit of extra clothing. It's supposed to get down to 50, possibly, so I'm going to take an extra t-shirt to sleep in and then these long johns, just in case. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to need those. And then finally, I am going to take a very lightweight hoodie, which is right here. This is a Patagonia, really light. I'm going to throw that in there just in case I get chilled or something. Because a lot of times if it's raining and you're chilled and you have to camp, something like this warm you right up. Okay, well, I'll show you a few pictures of the app that I'm using. I'm using the Hiker app, Google Maps, and then Henderson. But it's a book, it's an ebook, and it's the best resource for the Oregon Coast Trail. I mean, it's just incredibly fantastic. And so shortly after this, I turn this off, you'll see the pictures, and I'll make sure you know her name and all that. But I couldn't do it without this book. I mean, it's an ebook, and it shows the stages, where the campsites are, everything, how long they are. And so I'll be showing that in a second. Alrighty then. If you want to hike the Oregon coast, I hope that helped a bit. All right, bye. First, I'd like to show you my main resource, Bonnie Henderson ebook. Got it on Apple. It's Apple ebook. And yeah, just invaluable. She really portrays the coast well and shows all the campsites and everything there is, and it gives a nice long map, or the map in stages, which is here. And what it does is it gives you stages, all camping and lodging, and all lodging. So it's just incredible. Google Maps, also invaluable. I went down the whole Oregon coast and put a heart by all the places I may want to stay and a lot of the campsites, and just worked great. Then we have the Hiker app. I had to pay $30 for this, but it's really nice. It also shows stages and how long, how far to each stage, and where all the campsites are and all that. Really good. Finally, we have the Dirt app, I guess you'd call it. Great information. You kind of click on the campsite there, it'll come up, and then you click on that, and it gives you so much information, who to call, whether there's telephone service, campgrounds, RVs, hookups, everything you'd possibly want to know, markets, and there it is. So thanks for watching. Hope this has helped a bit.